Hey y'all, we're back, and today we're going to be reviewing Survivor Season 43, Episode 1. So, it's the start of the season.
Woo, we're back.
Woo! Hope you guys had a great summer. Sorry we didn't, do the winner review, winner ranks, but that's going to be kind of an in-between season thing. So yeah, stay tuned after Survivor and Amazing Race. So, Jeff asked at the beginning how they all started Survivor.
Right, and that was something he really hadn't done before, where he really asked a number of them how they got into Survivor, when did they start watching it, and a lot of them started watching when they're really young. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that was really cool, and it looks like a really cool cast. They all look super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the cast looks pretty good. We'll see about some of them.
Yeah.
But so far, I think so good. I mean, so far, it seems like it's going to be a pretty fun season. But let's get into some of the details.
Yeah. In the first challenge, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce her name.
I think it's Nanika.
Okay. Well, she comes up with an amazing idea to put the flint in the bamboo, but Cody gets credit for it. We're not really sure why that happened, but if you'll look back in that part of the challenge, you can see that her mouth was moving and she was saying those words, but then Cody was getting all the credit for it. So
Right, so we don't know if Cody first said it off camera, but from what the edit showed, Nanika was the first one to say it, and it was a great idea. Instead of just trying to push the flint with the bamboo, actually putting it in the bamboo stick and moving it that way.
And that leads Vessi to win the reward. So they have flint, a pot, a machete, all that great stuff.
That's right. So and the other teams do not get that.
Yeah.
So they have to earn that in a different way.
In a sweat or savvy challenge, Baca did the savvy challenge, and Sammy wins it for them. He was trying to hide all of his strengths, but he ended up just telling them, if we move this and blah, 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 we'll get this, and this is the right answer, and they did it. So
and I didn't really, I think Sam is getting ahead of himself there.
Yeah.
At this stage of the game, you want to be as impressive to your tribe as possible. And so he's both a strength threat and an intellectual threat, it seems, too. And so he, figured out the number quiz or the number challenge, and they were able to get their supplies.
And then Coco did the sweat challenge because they're not really geniuses.
Right.
Gio said that line.
Which is a hilarious line. I'm looking forward to Gio. I think he might have some really funny lines this season.
And Ryan comes up with a really good X strategy where they are given a square and they have to dig to find their reward. And he comes up with a good strategy that you do an X, and they found it really quickly within 30 minutes.
Yeah, he did a great job, and they were allotted 4 hours to look for it.
Yeah.
They got it in a half an hour. So again, Ryan also might be another one who's a double threat as far as being super smart and also really strong.
And a boat comes, and they have to choose one person to leave, all three tribes. Coco chooses Carla, Baca chooses Gabler, and Vessi chooses Dwight.
Right. So, those out of those three, the one that really kind of, I think, made a big impression as Gabler, but not quite sure what to make of him at this point.
Yeah. He talked a lot about how he was the oldest, and that's going to, really affect him in the game. That was, his whole personality in the first episode. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen with him.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But then what happens?
Then they have to go out to a big rock. They have to walk through the water, and they have to decide together. That's a difference from last season. If they want to risk or protect their vote in secret, they make their decisions, but they're all together. Gabler and Dwight choose to risk their vote, while Carla chooses to protect her vote. Gabler gets the advantage, which is an idol for the next 2 tribal councils.
Exactly. So some different tinkering with the way this used to go. I think the thing we can all agree on is that the big silly wheel is gone. So that I think we're ready to move away from the big goofy wheel.
But it always was so epic when they turned
it.
Well,
sure, it was epic, and I guess maybe if I was there, I'd want the big wheel too.
Yeah. and Coco and Vessi win the immunity challenge. It was a pretty weird, like, the other tribe, Baka, came back during like the middle of the challenge, and then they fell behind again, and then Coco and Vessi won. So yeah, Baka loses, and Mariah gets voted out.
Right. So it was a really big challenge, and as the first immunity challenge often is. And it kind of went back and forth, and one of the things I thought that was interesting is that they got to choose which ball maze they got to do instead of all doing the same one. And so that kind of put a new twist in it. And so that was kind of cool. But it ends up with, who ends up winning it? Coco and Vessi, and then Baka has to go to Tribal. But then I think, we need to at least talk about Gabler here too, because then he kind of goes a little crazy, right? And he's like, because he and Sammy were having some conflict during the maze. What did you make of that?
I thought that was really, weird. Sammy was blaming Gabler for all of the mistakes that they both had made. And I really feel like if you want to hide your strength and stay in longer, then maybe don't, put a target on people's back saying that they did really badly when they didn't do horribly.
Right. I mean, he was trying to do his best. And, and it's hard to have a two-person thing like that and everyone and both of them working together, in the perfect sync. And I think so. It'll be interesting. Sammy, I think, might be a strong player. He might be a little messy, too, I think, as that kind of showed us. But then Gabler takes it really hard, and he gets back to camp, and he's like, I have an immunity idol, but I'm not going to play it. I'm going to do Shot in the Dark instead. Which is like, dude, why are you here? You have
your idol is good for the next 2 tribal councils. At least use it.
Right. So it was weird, and everyone just basically shut him down and said, "Okay, you're not going home."
Yeah.
And so he ended up not getting voted out and not playing the Shot in the Dark. But I think we're going to spend a lot of time this season saying, "Oh, Gabler."
Yeah.
So we have that to look forward to.
He seems like one of those types of people.
He does. But I was kind of bummed out that Mariah got voted out.
Mariah seemed like a really promising castaway.
Yeah, I really liked her. She seemed cool.
Yeah.
But that's what happens on Survivor. So, what do you think of the first episode?
I thought it was a pretty good start to the season.
Yeah, I did too. I think it's great. It seems like there's a lot of really fun people on it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next.
Who are you rooting for?
Yes. Well, I think I am now going to shift over and start rooting for Dom because we lost one rainbow-haired woman, and so I'm just going to start rooting for the other rainbow-haired woman.
That's on Amazing Race.
Oh, she's on Amazing Race?
Yep.
Different show?
Yep.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to have to think about that. Who are you rooting for?
I really like Cassidy and Justine. I think I'm definitely rooting for those two.
Yeah, they seem great.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, guys. See you next week.
Let us know comments. If you have any different takes, please put them in the comments.
And who are you rooting for?
Yeah, let us know who you really were impressed by in the first episode. Other than that, all we have to say is, oh, Gabler.
Bye, guys.